A child is born into the cold winds of prehistoric Eurasia. His mother cradles him beneath a cliffside overhang, her eyes darting toward the trees. Shadows move wolves, maybe worse. But it's not just predators they fear. It's something else. Something with fire, tools, language, and a hunger to dominate. This child is not Homo sapiens. He belongs to a species most people have never heard of. A human species that once roamed the earth, hunted mammoths, crafted tools, buried their dead, and then eshed. Not because of disease, not because of environment, but because they were erased. This is the forgotten story of the Denisovans, the ancient humans hidden in our DNA, but missing from our history books. Who were they? Why did they disappear? And what does their silence reveal about us? For most of human history, we thought we knew the players on the prehistoric stage. There were us Homo sapiens, our more robust cousins, the Neanderthals, and maybe a few distant outliers like Homo erectus. But in 2008, everything changed with the discovery of a tiny finger bone in the remote Denisova cave, deep in the Altai Mountains of Siberia. It was a child's bone, so small and worn it might have gone unnoticed. But when scientists analyzed the DNA, they realized something incredible. This wasn't Neanderthal, and it wasn't us. It belonged to a completely different kind of human, one we didn't even know existed. We call them Denisovans, after the cave where their remains were found. But here's the thing: besides a handful of teeth, a few bone fragments, and a sliver of skull, we have almost nothing physical from them. No full skeleton, no cave paintings, no tools we can definitively call theirs. And yet, their genetic fingerprint is all around us. If you have ancestry from parts of East Asia, Melanesia, or even Australia, chances are you carry fragments of Denisovan DNA passed down through thousands of generations. That raises a chilling question. How could a species so widespread, so genetically influential, leave behind so little? No monuments, no myths, no names etched into stone. It's like they were wiped off the face of the earth, not just physically, but historically. How does an entire branch of humanity vanish almost without a trace? And more importantly, who was responsible? Because these early humans weren't passive. They were survivors. They braved the freezing highlands of Tibet before modern humans ever set foot there. They crossed mountains, mingled with other hominins, and shaped the genetic makeup of modern populations. This wasn't a primitive side branch. This was a powerful, mysterious people. And they didn't go down without a fight. Imagine a world where three types of humans walked the earth at the same time: us, the Neanderthals, and the Denisovans. Not just surviving, but encountering each other. Sometimes peacefully, sometimes not. DNA lie. We know Homo sapiens interbred with both Neanderthals and Denisovans. In fact, one of the most astonishing finds from Denisova Cave was a bone fragment belonging to a teenage girl. Her mother was a Neanderthal. Her father? Denisovan. That's not theory, that's fact, written in her genes. It proves they didn't just know of each other. They lived together, traveled together, maybe even loved each other. But these encounters weren't just about shared genes. They were also about competition, for land, for food, for resources. And in that silent war, Homo sapiens had the edge. We don't know exactly why. Maybe it was our ability to communicate more effectively, to form larger social groups, to adapt rapidly to changing environments. Maybe it was simply luck. But gradually, over thousands of years, the Denisovans faded. Their caves were abandoned. Their bones stopped appearing. They left no written legacy, just traces. Traces in our blood. Still, their influence was anything but minor. One Denisovan gene helps Tibetans survive high altitudes. Another affects immune response in Pacific Islanders. These aren't small tweaks. These are traits that shaped how people live and survive today. It means the Denisovans weren't just a lost species. They were part of us, a hidden thread in the human story. And yet, we don't speak their language. We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know their myths, their dreams, their fears. In the story of humanity, they are a footnote, a whisper. Not because they were insignificant, but because someone else, perhaps we chose to write over their page. So what exactly happened to them? Did we drive them to extinction through warfare? Did climate shifts destroy their food sources? Or were they slowly absorbed into other human groups until there was no one left to carry the name Denisovan? The truth may be more complex and darker than we'd like to admit. To understand the disappearance of the Denisovans, we have to step back and look at the bigger picture: how Homo sapiens spread across the planet. Around 60,000 years ago, our ancestors began moving out of Africa in waves, bringing with them new technologies, strategies, and social structures. Wherever they went, other human species already lived: Neanderthals in Europe and Western Asia, Denisovans farther east. And slowly, those other species began to vanish. Some of it may have been violent. Archaeological evidence suggests Homo sapiens weren't always peaceful newcomers. We competed fiercely for resources, and we were adaptable. Our tools were more refined, our ability to cooperate more complex. We moved faster, hunted smarter, and formed tighter groups. And when conflict did arise, whether over territory, prey, or survival itself, it's likely the Denisovans were outnumbered and outmaneuvered. But not all extinction is about battle. Some of it is about absorption. Over generations, Denisovans may have been gradually folded into migrating Homo sapiens populations through interbreeding. As the years passed, pure Denisovan lineages may have simply disappeared, not through war, but through blending. Their bones stopped showing up in the fossil record, not because they died out all at once, but because they were slowly overwritten. Still, it's eerie how thoroughly they vanished from cultural memory. No oral traditions remain. No legends speak of tall, robust mountain people or the quiet cousins who once shared our caves. They were forgotten until modern science cracked the code hidden inside our cells. It's only through genetic archaeology that they've begun to reappear, like ghosts walking backward into the light. And here's the twist: this might not be the last we hear of them. New fossils are being discovered. Ancient tools are being re-examined. The more we dig, the more hints we find of a Denisovan world that once thrived. Their unique teeth, their massive build, their bold migrations across Southeast Asia and Oceania. They were explorers, survivors, and innovators in their own right. The tragedy isn't just that they vanished. It's that we barely knew they existed at all. They say history is written by the victors, but what about the ones who left no words behind? The Denisovans didn't vanish because they were weak. They lived in some of the harshest environments on Earth, passed on genes that still protect us today, and quietly shaped the genetic code of millions. Their silence eyes into proof of failure. It is a haunting reminder of how fragile memory can be. One lost cave, one undisturbed layer of soil, and their entire existence might have remained a mystery. But now, we know. We carry them in our blood, in our breath, in the way our bodies adapt to the world. They may be gone, but they are not erased. Not anymore. So here's the question. How many more ancient stories are waiting to be uncovered? How many chapters of our human saga have been buried, ignored, or forgotten? If we've already missed an entire species hidden in our DNA, what else could be out there? If this journey through deep time sparked something in you, curiosity, wonder, even a little awe, don't let it end here. Subscribe for more mind-bending explorations into ancient mysteries, lost civilizations, and the raw survival stories of early humanity. Hit that like button if you believe history is more than what we're taught. And drop a comment. Did you know about the Denisovans before this? What other hidden human stories do you think we've lost? Until next time, stay curious, stay wild, and remember, the past isn't dead. It's just waiting to be rediscovered.